Simply having self control is learning how to hold yourself back from things you know are bad or harmful. Welcome back to the Junior Mints Podcast. This podcast is here to help you guys navigate life while also helping you guys see the fun sides of life as well. My name is Finn Lawler. I'm your host. Let's jump right in. In today's episode, I will be talking about self control and how to have it. So, here we go. So, self control is one of the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and last but not least, self control. These are the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit are the things that we are encouraged to have, according to the Bible. While they are all important, I think self control is important because it's related to the sins of the flesh, which, if you think about it, the other fruits of the Spirit, not, it's just that they're not directly related to the flesh like self control is. So these, it's just having self control is one of those things where it takes practice to have it. For example, there are self control is in all areas of your life. There is self control in all areas of your life. You've got to probably have self control when it comes to your diet, how much TV you watch, how much social media you're consuming. Self control boils down to controlling yourself. Pretty self explanatory. If you have self control in one area of your life, then you can have self control in all areas of your life. Simply having self control is learning how to hold yourself back from things you know are bad or harmful. Let me let me say that one more time. Simply having self control is learning how to hold yourself back from things that you know are bad and or harmful. So, how can we establish self control? Well, let me tell you. Prayer and meditation. When you just sit and do breath work, it can help you have better self control because it allows you to become more in tune with your mind, body, and soul. If you're a Christian, prayer can also help in this instance, or you can do both. I actually do both. I meditate and then pray, and vice versa, and it's a game changer. I have my days of praying more or meditating more, but I think they do the same thing. Um, it's just one of those things when you meditate, you're grounding yourself. And actually, I think meditation and prayer are linked in the sense of you're talking to God while you meditate, or you're talking to it's God. Let's be real. Um, but you're talking to God when you're just kind of sitting there and going and when you're praying, of course, you're having a conversation with God as well. So they do the same thing. I pray while I meditate, but anyway, all that is to say, ever since I've started doing that, I think I have had pretty good self control uh, these last few years. So prayer and meditation can actually help establish like amazing self control. Just you have to kind of get a routine going for it. You can't just like pray once and be like, okay, I'm good. Having self control in any area, via meditation or not, takes practice to establish. So lust and self control. Okay. One of the hardest things to master is, or one of the hardest things to master with self control is sins of the flesh. This has been, or this was my biggest weakness for a while. That's why lust is so hard to deal with sometimes. Lust, like I was saying, is a fleshly desire. For example, if you struggle with a porn addiction, having enough self control to overcome that addiction is a huge battle. So it's one of those things where lust, I think, it can start in the heart, but it also starts in the eyes, right? So you have to have self control from what you look at, whether it's an attractive girl at the gym or like anything in between. It's just one of those things. It starts in the eyes and your heart. It can start in, so the lusting happens primarily from your heart, but your heart are is connected to your eyes, as far as like, oh, like it only starts with a glance, and then that can probably lead into a rabbit hole of lusting after the person, which is having bad self-control, in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm perfect in that sense. We all do it. It's unfortunate, but it's one of those things that you need to work on, you know. So which is part of the reason why self-control is related to the fleshly desires, because lust is a fleshly desire. So there's that. God and self-control. Going off my last point, you can't really control yourself unless you seek God and ask Him for advice. Ask Him to watch over you and protect you from sin. Uh, here's the great here's the great part. God is the one who gives you self-control. Think about it. If you can have I mean, you can have all the willpower in the world, but until you have faith that God will protect you from that sin, your fleshly desires might overcome you. I've struggled with like I keep saying, um, I struggled with this in the past where I told myself, "Oh yeah, well I'm just gonna have willpower to stop watching porn," right? And then week after week, I'd make it for a week and then be like, ah. And this is before I started believing in God and trusting in God that He had my back. But I would get like 2 weeks in, I'm like, this is great, and then I would relapse back into it. Um, but once I fully accepted that God is there with me in the battle, and He gives me God gives us self control. We can try to build it, but really God gives it to us. Think about it. So having self control is something that you need to nurture, and have compassion for. It sounds weird when I say it like that, but it's something that we can all build, and you get it from God as well. When it comes to things like a person's sex drive, though, it's just a little tangent here. It's important to learn how to manifest that energy into something more productive. That's what self control is. It's redirecting some of that energy into productive things. I will restate that for the audience members that are just tuning in. So, self control is basically redirecting some of that energy into productive things. Now, it's easier said than done to have self control, but once you establish it, then it's like, wow. Like, so it's basically, it's, it's, yeah, self control is redirecting that energy that you feel on a day to day basis. And this goes for women as well, men and women, everybody. Um, but yeah, self control is one of those things where once you have it, then it's like victorious, you know? Anyway, this has been the Junior Mints podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you'd enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe down below, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.